There is always so much going on in Chattanooga, especially when it comes to the real estate market in Chattanooga and in North Georgia. If you have been watching it all lately, you know that maybe inventory is down, you might think. Interest rates continue to be a little bit higher than they have been historically. Is it a good time to buy? Is it a good time to sell? Who can answer your questions? Mark Hite. He's here today with Real Estate Partners. Good to see you.
Good morning. Good to be with you.
You know, you and I get a chance to talk so often that sometimes I feel like I'm saying the same thing all over again, but I'm not, because every time you come here, you've had your hand on the pulse of the market, and so you come and say, this is what I'm seeing right now.
Right.
Let's talk about it.
And that's a really interesting perspective, is because the market, as each week I have a business coach, and I was looking at the last 7 days and the activity coming up, and it's actually been a nice uptick in the first week of the new year with buyers, because there's some creative financing like we talked about recently with our 2-1 buy down. So where buyers can get an interest rate that is below market rate, and then sellers looking at there's still very limited inventory, and so the opportunity to sell is still a good time, Julie.
Okay, so some people can look at a situation and say, well, this is the challenge. Some people can look at a situation and say, this is the challenge, here's what I'm going to do about it.
Right.
And you fall into that category.
Yeah.
So for a long time, you've had that guaranteed offer. That's benefiting you now in two ways, because you can help somebody with the guaranteed offer, but that gives you then new houses to put back into the market.
200%. One I contracted yesterday, a very mature couple. Life's taken over and they need to get into one level living, and so at the same time their house has a little deferred maintenance. It's a good house, but there's some paint and some things it needs, and so we're going to facilitate. We'll close on the house the first week of February. That gives them 2 weeks to have the estate sale for what they don't need. We're helping. We made a referral for that. They get them moved, then I'll refresh the house, and we'll get it back on the market and get a new family in. Otherwise, without us providing the solutions, this house might not make it to the market.
I think that you just said a very key word. It would be for me if I were selling a house. You said get a new family in there.
Yeah.
People, I mean, you are attached to your house. You have memories, and you've had a lot of love, we hope, in your house, and you want to see that handed over to somebody who's going to also love it.
You've made a perfect point. There have been so many institutional investors, big corporate entities buying in Chattanooga over the last 3-4 years for rental. Now, that doesn't mean a family won't be there, but it's not going to return to the traditional owner-occupant like you and your husband raising your kids, in the house. So when I'm buying a house, I'm buying it to put it back into the pool of for sale properties to put families in. Because
for a long time, I mean, way before COVID, you were doing your about soon to be listed things. Coming soon on Facebook, because Chattanooga is a growing in-demand city. People more and more are choosing to live here, and in North Georgia and in South Pittsburgh. So people are racing to get those houses. You've got clients who are looking for something. The house you buy with the guaranteed offer, you might be able to contact them and say, this is about to come on the market.
Absolutely. Had a young family needing an FHA loan approved up to $260,000 that came in, and I have a house in East Ridge that's about 2 weeks from being finished. And so we were able to connect that young family. They got in the door. The kitchen's not even there yet because this house had serious disrepair. It was actually a long-term rental with a lot of neglected maintenance. So it's got a new roof, and it's got new windows and new siding and new plumbing, new electric. We pulled permits with the city of East Ridge. They're going to have a quality home that they can afford and walk into in February.
Okay, I'm going to tap dance my way through this one, because life, for me anyway, is all about how you look at it.
Sure.
So if you are a home owner and you're looking to sell now, you didn't sell 6 months ago, maybe the Zillow price on your house has dropped. That isn't necessarily a bad thing, is it?
Well, the market was overheated, and so we had this price escalation that was unsustainable in the first half almost of last year. What we saw in the second half of the year is prices have not declined in our marketplace. Now, they have in other parts of the country, but we've seen that rate of acceleration slow.
Okay.
And so at the same time, you benefited from all that crazy appreciation. So it is a good time to sell your home if you have a place to go.
Okay, we have a couple of minutes left. Don't let me get in the weeds.
Okay.
But you said it's not declined here, it has in other parts of the country.
Sure.
So that goes back to your being local. If you are looking at your own house at your Zillow estimate, that isn't necessarily what you would tell somebody.
Oh, absolutely.
But you also believe that you want to price it right and don't get greedy, or else it won't sell.
Exactly. We've seen more price reductions over the last several months than at any point in the last 3 years, frankly, Julie. And it really starts with a local, honest perspective. I'm going to, what I could do last March, I can't necessarily do this January because there are only 600 houses out there. This morning there were 1,650. And so they're still not where we were in 2019.
Used to be 3,000.
Yes, now you've got the math. It's an improving situation. So if you've been holding thinking there's nowhere to go, well, there's increasing number of places to go.
Okay.
And if you think I'm not going to give it away, you don't have to give it away because there are ready, willing, and able buyers. But you need to price it correctly for the market we're in today.
Okay, so here are some numbers you can also remember. His phone number, he's at Real Estate Partners now down on Main Street.
Yes.
Do I have that right?
You got it right.
All right, 265-0088 is the phone number. You can also call 667-9385. Go online, markhitehomes.com. Follow him on Facebook, see these coming soon listings and everything else. He is out there to make your next home purchase or sale very easy. Thank you.